All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Somers Town Board Work Session, starting here at 7:05, Thursday, June 1st, 2023. We're going to start with public comment. Is anybody here for public comment?
Are we going to sit down?
Yeah, no, sit down, yeah. We're gonna-
We weren't going to stand the whole meeting. Don't worry.
Well, I was.
We get out here.
Right, you can stand.
Okay, I hope this won't offend anybody, but at my age, I'm going to be careful. So this is just a brand new alcohol prep. And after I finish, I've got another one. I know a few people have long COVID and that is not fun. Okay, my name is Mark Appel. I live in Purdy's, lived there, not at first full-time, but total now, certainly now full-time for a long time, 30 years. I understand from reading about our supervisor that his father lives in Lake Purdy, so we are neighbors. We're on the other side of 116, and I am proud to be his neighbor.
Thank you.
So I am here because today's meeting is absolutely perfectly timed as June 1st, which is traditionally celebrated in many parts of the world as Gay Pride Month. So I just have a couple of comments to make on that. Why June? In 1969, I think it's June 26th, but I'm not 100% positive. The police raided the Stonewall Bar in the Village for gay bars. Then all sorts of things were illegal. Even drinking was sometimes illegal. Dancing, any sign of affection, like holding somebody's hand. And the people there had it. They fought back. And that started the LGBT rights movement. And the only goal is equal, not special rights. And when some people, not anybody here, of course, talks about the gay agenda, yes, there is one. And the gay agenda is two words, equal rights. That's it. Thank you. Why do we call it Gay Pride? For centuries, I'm just going to use the word gay, but it means LGBT plus. Gay people were taught to be ashamed of who they are. A lot of people still are. And yet this is something that almost everybody agrees is inborn, like being left-handed, which I also am. I'm a nice double minority there. And this is never a choice, as people say. Who would choose to be hated by people, or as in some countries, executed? It's not a choice. Many of our ancestors, anybody in this room.
Mark, do me a favor, just address the board.
What was that?
Just address the board.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. Yeah, I was a college teacher,
So you
and
just-
I was always looking around the room. Okay, I will address the board. That's facing that way. Perfect. Starting with indigenous peoples, Blacks, Latinos, more in Somers. Latinos, of course, we have Irish, Italian, Jews, South, East Asians. We're also taught at one point to be ashamed of ourselves. And the wonderful parades that we have, often in the city, often in Westchester, for all of these groups are showing that, no, you are not going to make us ashamed. We are proud of who we are. So this is really the same kind of thing. This year has been especially bad after a lot of years of progress, quite surprising progress to me. Not only places all over the world criminalizing it, even to the point of execution, several anti-LGBT laws from states that I will say, not coincidentally, are the states that originally had and supported slavery. and fought for the right for slavery in the Civil War. I am proud to live in Somers, where this kind of behavior does not happen. One final note. Gays are regularly accused, and again, I don't mean anybody here, of grooming kids so that there'll be more new LGBT people. This may sound like a joke. I mean, so I made it sort of a joke, but it's really the truth. We don't need to do that. Heterosexuals kindly provide newborn LGBT babies every day. There's no need for grooming, recruiting, whatever you want to call it. Almost all of us, certainly me, anybody I know, came from a heterosexual family. It's something that happens genetically, and there you are. And at a certain point, you realize, yeah, I'm pretty much like everybody else, except in this one way. And I want to thank everybody that I've talked to about this gay pride idea. And I want to thank the board for listening. I want to thank the television audience for watching. And I will conclude. And I'm going to, for the next person.
This means you can't get up and speak again. You're out of the hand.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I'm going to.
All right. Anybody need wipes? We know where they are.
Well, Mark, we appreciate your coming. You know, you come before the board every now and then about important topics, and I know this is one that is most passionate for you. And you always come with you always come with well thought out, and you could tell your passion and your interest in it. So we appreciate you coming.
Thank
Every
you.
time we know we're going to actually learn a little something, and that's great.
I appreciate that. I've even been thinking of ideas for IBM, since that's right across the street.
Oh, we'll say that for another
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah. Of course, it's not my choice. It's not even the owner's choice. It's some developer's choice. But that's how much I care about the town. I'm trying to get us something good for that.
And we know you
Even though I don't have that much power. I know you are. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark, I guess as a former history teacher, what you say resounds with me, because certainly the promise of America is personal liberty and equal treatment. And when you say that, I don't think any American could doubt it. Let's treat everyone equally. So I'm so glad you termed it like that. And as you said to me earlier, if you look in other parts of the world, of the way people who may be gay, homosexual, or whatever, the treatment of that, as you said to me, if we both said, feel lucky to be in America, may not be perfect, but we're lucky to be here.
Yeah.
Next.
Anybody else?
Good evening.
Hello.
My name is Tara Ferretti. I've been a resident of Somers for 32 years. I have 3 grown children who are all graduates of the Somers School District, and I'm also a librarian at the Somers Library. I would like to thank you. I want to say thank you to the town board supervisor and the town board for hearing the proposed plans for the teen space at the Somers Library. I want to share some of my thoughts regarding this issue.
Tara, this is an actual agenda item if you want to wait till then.
Yeah, you can wait till then.
Usually this is for non-agenda items.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to wait till then?
Usually you get 3 minutes for
While we're in part
this, but you can speak longer
Yeah.
because it's an actual agenda item.
All right, then I won't say that first
That's
part.
going to be,
Yeah, you can thank us again. We appreciate
yeah,
that.
you read that over again.
Yeah, yeah.
All the
Okay,
praise.
I'll do
Yeah.
it.
We'll let you do
Thank
that a
you.
couple more times.
Is anybody else here for public comment? Something that's not on the agenda for this evening?
Allowed to speak. I'm not a resident.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Rabbi?
A synagogue.
You spoke at our Memorial Day
Yes, you
parade. You can
spoke
certainly
on
speak
Monday.
here.
Yes.
Beautifully.
I want
You're
to speak on
famous.
every issue of inclusion. Everyone should feel at home and safe here. I'm a supporter. I'm Rabbi Shoshana Lees. I serve as the rabbi of the Hebrew Congregation of Somers. I feel like I preface everything whether I'm fighting anti-Semitism or all the forms of hate that are on the rise, that I support equal rights and full inclusion for all marginalized people. We are all in this together. Today is the first day of Pride Month. I'm a proud member of the LGBTQ community. I'm a proud family member of trans folks. I am not just an ally, I'm very much on the inside. And I formed a committee in our congregation to make sure that our space is safe and inclusive of all LGBTQ plus folks. I am standing here today to say, not only am I wearing rainbow, but I'm wearing black because there's much to grieve. Unfortunately, our country has taken a turn back, particularly for trans folks who have life-saving treatment in order for them to live as who they are, being not only at risk, but in some states being separated from parents, things that honestly scare me to the core as a Jew. And I don't want this country to be unsafe. I'm speaking not only for gay folks, but particularly, Mark, thank you so much for your words. Sorry, I'm not supposed to speak to him. But for the trans community, which is truly vulnerable and at risk, frankly, of teens committing suicide. It's already happened when they're not given the support that they need to live. So I just wanted to raise that and happy Pride. And please, let's make New York unconditionally safe for all people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak on anything?
For non-agenda items.
No?
Great.
Okay. I didn't even open it up. I need
You're
to.
good. Yours is a work session. Just keep.
All right, cool. Want to make a motion to close it? I'll make a motion to close public comment. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, let's go to the town board. Let's go town of Somers update. As we know, today is June 1st. It is Gay Pride Month. And we have the town board and I have a proclamation here that we would like to read for everybody out there and to the community. I'll just read it here for everybody. Whereas the town of Somers recognized the many contributions to the community, country, state, and nation by the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning LGBTQ plus individuals, which have included advancements in business, medicine, law, education, music, sports, arts, and culture. And whereas members of the LGBTQ plus community come from all parts of our community, regardless of color, ethnicity, religion, economic status, or gender. And whereas June is recognized as Gay Pride Month to honor the memory of the Stonewall Rebellion in New York City in June 1969, an event accepted by the single most important event leading to the fight for the LGBTQ plus rights in our nation. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the town of Somers recognizes and celebrates June as Gay Pride Month, and be it further resolved, the town of Somers stands as a community of hope, generosity, and acceptance to everyone, regardless of religion, race, national origin, ethnicity, culture, or orientation. And if someone here would like to accept this proclamation, Mark?
And the rabbi, please come up as well.
I invite my whole team.
All right.
Can
Team-
you come with more than one?
Team.
Yeah, you come, yeah, sure.
We have a team.
Hey, you know what? Let me get a picture for the,
Team Rabbi.
let me get a picture I got a picture for the paper.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Well, I didn't really catch that either. I think Rabbi showed have the same color. So there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Get an email from Carol in 2 minutes. Send me that picture. Yeah, she's gonna text me right now. Send me
Nice
that.
to see her at the event. Yeah, the event. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Library Teen Room Architectural and Engineering presentation from Lothrop Associates LLP Architects. You guys here and want to come up?
I just first want to say thank you for having us and hearing us out. I'm going to let Bob and Marilyn, this is Marilyn Reed and Bob Gabalski from Lothrop, and I'll jump in if you need me to. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Marilyn Reed. I'm a senior interior designer at Lothrop Associates. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And my name is Bob Gabalski, a principal at Lothrop Associates.
Does everyone have the proposal and the sketch?
Yes.
We do, yes.
Does anyone need an extra copy before we start?
Nope.
Should be good.
I got one on my tablet. If you have a paper,
I have-
it's better with
yep.
that. Do you have one? Thanks.
Yeah, I'll take a paper copy.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Good. We can use the big board.
Oh, yeah.
We should be. I wish we had.
I don't have the monitor.
Yeah, no, that's. should be coming in.
Is everyone familiar with the library?
Yes.
Yes.
Is everyone familiar with, yeah, not so many anymore, but they're becoming community centers. Is everyone familiar with the current teen room?
Yep.
Which is off to the left
Mhm.
as you come in. The idea here is to give teens a better space to become older teens, to have a vibrant environment, to study, and to interact with other teens in the library. And by simply expanding the space that they can use, by combining two existing interior spaces and moving a wall, they will have a much larger room that will be flexibly designed so that in the event that two teen room activities need to happen simultaneously, there would be a folding partition that would subdivide the wall, the room into two separate spaces. And that folding partition would have acoustical properties so that both events can happen at the same time without disturbing each other. And when there needs to be a larger event, the folding partition would be stored away and a larger room would be available for teen use and accommodate varying groups of varying sizes for various functions. And this involves moving a couple of columns and beams and moving out a new wall. The idea is so that as activities are happening there, staff in the library can look down the book aisles, the stack aisles, and see directly into the room. Because right now it's a little bit of a hodgepodge of smaller spaces that you can't see into easily unless you go down the aisle and look into those rooms. But with this new design, that front wall would be all glass, so that as you look down any one of the aisles as you're passing by as a staff person, you could see the activities that are going on there. And the idea is that teens need to be aware that they're seen but not policed, meaning right on top of you. And so when they see that people can see what's happening there, it's a kind of a good positive deterrent to misbehavior or unacceptable activities. And because it's a larger space that's dedicated, they can feel more free to be and become more vibrant young individuals as they head toward adulthood. And so this simple interior renovation move allows that to happen. We at Lothrop have been doing libraries for over 50 years. We've got over 180 library projects, and we're doing a lot of library projects right now. We have over 11 in either design or construction right now. And the big focus is on teen rooms and community center feelings so that you can take the young people who in their toddler and young years love libraries and storytelling and keep them there and keep them engaged so that when they go on into adulthood, they again use the library. So we're trying to bridge that gap. And I can tell you with the focus group sessions we had, the one that was most positive and most invigorating was the one with the teens at the library. And so there's clearly a need expressed by these young teens that this project will simply meet the demands of those needs for those teens. So that's the sales pitch on this, and it's happening everywhere in a lot of libraries. And so we would hope that you would entertain and consider and endorse this project.
Any questions?
Anything?
Well, can I ask you a question? So you mentioned your focus groups. I was part of one of those at the library one night, and you're with the teens. And you said they expressed a need. More specific, what was that? Simply space, access to materials they could use for school, more audio visual, less. What did it come down to?
It's any and all of the above, whether it's a hardcore student who just wants to study in a dedicated space, or it's a space where young people can interact, whether it be doing homework together or school projects together, or in a more social environment where they can, kind of interact socially. So it runs the gamut from very academic based needs to social needs.
You were talking about the space having a transformative, structure to it. How is it large enough to be used as a conference center, conference room, or at different times of day?
Your max capacity
for business people, or
It's a pretty sizable space once it's opened up, because right now there's a fixed wall between the two kind of pyramidal shaped roof rooms. And so it could accommodate a pretty sizable group. I don't have the exact number, but it's.
Well, just
the conference room, the way it exists right now, can hold max, I would say 10 people. And even then, I think that's too tight. Richard, you were in a meeting with us where we were 10 and it was tight. The current teen space, which is right next door, is 16 by 16, but it's got two intersecting walls. So they're pretty much the size of closets. But you open up those walls, you've got a sizable space that could, I would say, comfortably accommodate, say, 20 people.
Okay.
And again, it would have the option of having a room divider with, acoustics, so that if there were two meetings happening at once, you could pull that room divider and one group would not disturb the other.
So this would be about half the size of the meeting room that we have on the other side.
The program room is the room capacity for that is 70, but that's really tight, I think.
Right. Okay.
So,
all right.
I just ran a quick calculation. Grossly speaking, standing room only, it could, once opened up and enlarged, accommodate up to meet code, 34 people. Not that you would put 34 people in that space, but it could.
And the idea is to furnish this with movable furniture.
Easily movable furniture, durable furniture, off-state contracts. So it's economical and durable and inexpensive, contracts that have already been negotiated across the state, so that staff people aren't exhausting themselves moving old, heavy furniture. So lightweight, colorful, durable, easily moved around to adapt the space to any required function.
Okay.
And you mentioned a divider. And so having taught in a situation where there was a divider and kind of a open close, well, not a curtain, but it was, thick, heavy. Is that what you have in mind, where you just kind of pull it open and shut? It's not a curtain, but it's something that.
So you've seen these in gymnasiums or banquet halls, where these very tall walls are motorized. It's a folding wall.
Okay, that one. Got it.
And to get technical, it would have a sound transmission coefficient of 52 or greater, so that, like the one we did at Warner Library in Terrytown, you could have movie night for kids in one room and tax prep instructional meetings in the other room for seniors. and you wouldn't disturb the other
That
group.
gets my point, because that curtain thing didn't work.
Right. No, it's got to,
Even with the glass, the sound wouldn't get around the glass, or
so it's all about the details. It's easy to design a wall that has a sound transmission of 52 or greater, but it's the edges where the sound sneaks through.
Right.
So having the right gasketing at the perimeter of the wall, and then above the wall where the beam from which the wall is hung is acoustically attenuated on both sides all the way up to the roof. So you're right. It's got to be, the devil's in the details, and you've got to sweat those details at the perimeter and above the wall.
But the desire is you could have a movie and a meeting next door, and they're not going to affect each other.
That's right. And both halves of the room would be lighted, powered, conditioned separately, so that if there was a group of 4 in one room and a group of 20 in the other, they both would be accommodated. And when the wall was not deployed, it was stored away, the lighting, the power, and the HVAC system would work in unison.
Got it.
Jennifer, the vision of this to be used, I know it's for the teen room.
Yeah.
Is it immediately after school? To what time?
It would be really any time. We do have a number of families in Somers that homeschool their children. So it could potentially be any time, but it would be after school that we would see the most foot traffic. And we've been fortunate enough, thanks to Tara and Tara, that they've arranged with the school district to have busing from the schools to the library. And we continue to see an uptick in the number of kids that take advantage of that. So
Do you envision the library to be used for homeschooling?
we do have homeschool groups that meet once a month at least. And then come the fall, they'll be using the library even more than they already do.
Okay.
Sure.
At a couple of other library projects we've done recently, when the teens are in school, the spaces are also made available to other patrons. And so, for example, at Hendrick Hudson Library, where we have 2 glass meeting rooms on the second floor, when the teens are in school, the seniors are using those rooms, and they're used for meetings of all kind by various patron groups in the municipality.
And you're aware, of course, then, of all the requirements on any public entity in New York State for pay and bonding and insurance and all that.
Prevailing wage.
Prevailing wage, right?
Most of the projects that we do are publicly bid projects that have to follow New York State General Municipal Law 106. And so Wick's Law and prevailing wage, that's what we do.
So we can have confidence in that, yeah.
So I'm looking at this, the map here, a new door to the exterior to go outside. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. So we would have to look at that, but, for that door to go at the outside, do you plan on having that a path then to come down into that little, where we put the new
Patio.
The patio?
It's not close to the patio. It's not far, but it's not right there either.
Not right. Okay.
But it's a lovely flat piece of land, a lovely grassy area that if the kids wanted to go outside, if there was a program where it would extend to go be outside, they would have the ability to do so. It's also another, form of egress, because back in that corner of the library, it's a little sketchy. God forbid anything were to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be that easy to get out of that corner.
Right.
So.
Okay. Exit only, not entrance.
To that point, this room would not be able to accommodate more than 49 people, which is the magic number in the building code for requiring 2 means of egress. So this is not mandatory. It's just electively being proposed.
Okay.
So just the budget for this, what are you guys thinking at this point?
It's hard to say right now because all the costs have gone up for everything. But fortunately, we have a number of resources that we wouldn't have to ask the town for anything.
I wasn't really asking about the funding. I'm just asking
Oh.
about what's the cost of the project?
Bob, I'm going to leave that to Bob.
Was that the order
He's
of
got his phone
magnitude?
out again, so we'll find something out.
There's a figure in here.
What do you
Looking
got?
at a figure, that's the figure. Order of magnitude. Like not to exceed.
4 and then 5.
Down the bottom, page 4.
That's the fee structure for Lothrop services.
Right,
They're broken up into
right.
different parts of the project.
But that's not the same as the question?
I'm not sure.
I think you were asking about the project cost.
The project cost would be $20,000.
All right, now, you got the project cost
fee.
of 20, the construction, are you asking project cost or are you asking construction cost, like all in? Total cost.
It's going to be,
Like, if you were to do this, if it were to be accepted and you were gonna come build it, how much is it gonna cost?
Right.
So number one, we're architects and engineers. We don't build, we estimate it.
Okay,
okay.
what
So
would you estimate?
at the same time,
Red box.
the architect never wants to be a low bidder. Because then it means we've underestimated it.
So
Oh, we
the actual
know.
construction part of it hasn't been bid out yet, it's just more the initial stuff, so we don't know what.
Typically, what happens is once we get into schematic design, we would then put together a budget for it. But
Are we thinking $100,000 project?
it's going to be somewhere between 1 and 200. It's not going to be
That's fair.
It's not 10 grand and it's not $1 million.
right.
Okay.
Well,
Whoa, don't go towards the million.
it's not going to be multiple prime Wick's law. Let's put it that
Okay.
way.
All right. I get it.
Okay.
It's in the details, as you said.
Now, when you do that, we need a construction management firm with that, or is that I've seen architects serve as that. I don't know on a project of this size.
So in all of our library projects, we offer what are called extended construction phase services, which puts us on site more often, though we are not construction managers. You would engage the contractor, and I would encourage you to at least contemplate thinking about a clerk of the works who would kind of shepherd the process along daily with the contractor. It's all for naught if you have a really good contractor that you trust and they build it well, then,
Yeah, well,
it could be seen as wasted money, but
on the other hand,
exactly. You need somebody as your advocate looking at the architecture, the engineering, the construction, the costs, to manage that for you on a daily basis. I don't think you need a CM, but I wouldn't be against it.
but that's, yeah, in the schools, when the schools have done these, there has been, and that was the argument. Some architects want to serve as the construction management firm, but then who's watching them? And so it's always served better to have someone else who is checking that, even if sometimes it became, not necessary or redundant.
So my advice is don't engage the architect to play CM because it's like going to the doctor and the undertaker at the same time. And so I would say you want a third
Keep
party
that one in
person.
mind. Thank you.
If we don't have any other questions, I mean,
Tara, I know you
Tara,
had-
I know you had comments.
You had comments,
Please
right?
come up and finish up.
Maybe you don't want to sleep over it.
No, thank you.
I take credit.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and thank you guys again for hearing this and for having us here just to talk about this. Is wonderful. Okay, just getting back to me a little bit. I started working with Somers Library in 2010. I went back to school and I got my master's degree in library and information science, and then I became a teen librarian starting in 2013. And I worked as a teen librarian for about 7 years. My job responsibilities have changed since then, but I work very closely with this lady here, Tara Thomas, and we collaborate together. She does an amazing job with the teens. She's very passionate about the teens, and so am I. Once you work with this group of people, you just never forget it. I have relationships where I have Facebook friends who are former kids that I've met at the library, and it's just wonderful. But anyway, from the beginning of my time in Somers Library, it was evident that there was no real dedicated space for the teen population. The current space has summer reading books in it, a little room here and a little room there, and a room that was used for the public as a study room. So it was never really ever a dedicated space just for the teens. In the past, as it is today, we had to have programs that were team-based in other areas of the library, in the program room, in the conference room. We've had them in the downstairs area. We had them even in the staff kitchen at sometimes. We don't do that anymore because we just try not to do that, because we're kicking people out when they're having their lunch, a late lunch in there. So anyway, library space is premium, so it's always been difficult. But the most important thing is that there was no place for the teens that could meet, they could hang out, they collaborate, study, play games, and feel welcomed. The library's goals have always been to meet the needs of all people, and young adults are included in that. We also are very concerned about their social, emotional wellness. With the regressions that we've seen in children because of the pandemic, they've had a lot of regressions academically, but socially as well. So it's a crucial time for this group to socialize and interact with each other in a safe and nurturing environment. And in my opinion, there's no better place than the Somers Library. By creating a dedicated teen space, the town would show the young adults of this community that they are very important. Giving Somers teens their own space is something that they deserve as citizens of this town. I just want to say in closing, thank you to Jennifer Daddio, the director of the library, for bringing this dream of a dedicated teen space to the point that it is now and not giving up. This has been something I've wanted since I started in 2013, and never thought it would ever come to this point. So thank you to Jennifer Lothrop, and thank you guys for listening. I want to turn it over to this incredible lady, Tara Thomas.
Thanks, Tara.
I don't think I can live up to that. So my name's Tara Thomas. I live in Somers. My son is a senior. He's been here since he went through middle school. He went through high school. And I'm the teen librarian, which I love my job. What I really have come to talk to you about is the numbers we have coming in and how we don't have enough space for them.
I was going to ask you.
Last year, for example, we have a volunteer group of teens that come in 6th grade up to 12th grade. Last year, we had 48. This year, we had 62. That's a lot of teens coming into the library. We also have our TAB group. It's a teen leadership group where the teens come in and they plan programs for other teens. And I will actually later hand this over to one of those teens. They do great work. They've done everything from collect donations for animal shelters to organizing writing letters for soldiers abroad and seniors over at the Paramount. We do programs that you can't get, say, at the high school. We teach the things sometimes that have been left by the wayside. We have had knitting classes, sewing classes, classes about writing resumes, how to get a job. We've had AAA come in for several different programs about what to do if you're in an accident or if you're stopped by the police. We do fun programs. We do arts and crafts. We have book clubs. We have book clubs that are slowly growing so much that they will outgrow those spaces, that small 16 by 16 space.
pretty soon. We started some new ones like Snacks Around the World, where they learn about different countries, what they eat, what games they play, what they've invented, anything like that. We try to teach the kids, but we also try to get them to come in, have fun, meet new kids. For example, Natalia came to us, wanted to put together a book club. What I loved about the book club was it wasn't just Somers High School students. It was a Kennedy student. It was a student who lives in Somers, but goes to school up in Connecticut. These are kids who wouldn't necessarily connect, but they do at the library. Plus, we all went to school and we would come home and we could ride our bike or we could walk to our friend's house. You can't do that in Somers, not with 139, 202 Lovell. It's not easy to do. But when you have school buses coming after school and bringing these kids who love to come to the library and are meeting with each other and different grade levels. That's what I love. It's different grade levels getting to know each other and they have fun. So obviously increasing the space would mean we could cater to more kids, do more programming, because right now, most of my programs are limited to about 6 or 7 children. That's not a lot. I mean, if I can get the program room, I can do a lot more. We do Babysitting 101. We do it twice a year, has a huge turnout. And that's usually about 24 to 26 kids, roughly. So, but we're kind of vying for that program room with the adults, with the kids, with town, organizations, even in the summer with the summer camp. So it would be nice to have this extra space. So I don't know if you have any questions.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Why do you think the numbers are up? You're right. You went from 40 or so, then now up to 60. Why do you?
Actually, this was our first year getting the buses.
Okay.
And that has made a huge difference because think about it. If you have parents to be able to know that your kid can get on that school bus and the bus stops right outside the door and they can safely come straight into the library, that's a wonderful thing. Plus, we're about the only place where the middle schoolers can volunteer for LEO, National Honor Society, or CCD. Most places have a 16 plus rule for volunteering.
So it's about the programs that are hubbing out of the library.
Yeah, and they're important programs. They teach kids things that they wouldn't necessarily learn at school.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. And I'd like to introduce Natalia.
Natalia.
I actually know Natalia.
Hey guys, so I'm here speaking as a teenager who
Maybe
lives in the
closer
town,
to the mic.
okay,
Natalia.
who lives in the town of Somers. And so growing up, I have been so involved in the Somers Library and me and my family, we have firsthand seen what it does for the town and the community it creates. I have been in the Book Buddies program, which connects older teens with younger kids to learn them grow as readers. I have been in the teen advisory board, in the teen library book club. I've been in very different programs. So I firsthand know how much good they do. And truly what they have said, it connects so many teens in ways that you don't understand the impact. I think a place for teens to share knowledge and ideas and their passions and their hobbies and just grow in a safe, positive environment could be immensely beneficial. And I'm saying that as someone who would use it and knows people who would also use it. The space that we have right now, it's not, you really can't fit that many people. So let's say the book club grows to and it's amazing and it grows so much. Well, it wouldn't even be possible to have all the members come at the same time. And I would like you guys to consider that this wouldn't be something that just affects the people that are speaking here today or that affects the kids, my peers that are going to school right now. It would be generations and generations to come. So thank you.
Thank you, Natalia.
Natalia, I am very
Appreciate your
impressed.
volunteerism.
At your age, you're in Harvard Law School. I see on your sweatshirt already. This is you something there. I tell you.
Thank you so much.
Look what the library can do. You can go to Harvard Law School at the age of 17 if you go to the library.
There's your.
Thank you, Natalia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. Great job.
Hi, Barbara Tepper, 714 Heritage Hills, President of the Board of Trustees of the Somers Library. I know that you've just heard from a number of people who are very passionate about this teen space, and they're right on target. All of them, all the reasons that they have given, because there is no other place in the town of Somers where teens can congregate and be safe and be sheltered. There is no place. There's no Y. There's no YMCA. There's no JCC. There's no community center of any kind. The library is the de facto community center for the town of Somers. So that's another reason why it is so vitally important that we get this space renovated so that it can be used to its maximum capacity. I also have a message from Susan Dillon, the board member who could not be here tonight. She served for 30 some odd years on the Board of Trustees of the Merrick Public Library in Nassau County. And she said once they opened their teen room, it was constantly in use, constantly. As long as the library was open and school was out, it was constantly in use. So it's not, it's something that goes on all over. Teen rooms are now like the big important place. And I've seen a lot of them being built for New York Public Library branches and Queensborough Public Library branches. We need a teen room. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, anybody else? Jennifer, you want to close it out?
I just want to say thank you again for hearing us out.
Yeah, great. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
A clear presentation it was.
So we're going to take everything in that you guys have talked to us about here today. And then Jennifer, you and I will talk and we'll, okay. And then let you know. So, but I thank you guys for everybody for coming here today. Presentation, everybody else can make comments. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And you've got an opportunity to present it to the community because it's on TV.
It is. It is on TV. Thank you guys
very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Next, I'd like to call up Dave Smith, Director of Planning, number 3 on our agenda this evening. Implementation of the comprehensive plan, petition to rezone. Dave?
I should see something up on the screen here.
Evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. Dave Smith, Director of Planning. Before the meeting, the supervisor gave me an impossible task. He asked me to make a riveting presentation on proposed zoning changes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's easy to do. Come on.
Yeah.
Riveting.
I could bet much sleep, I know. Okay? Yeah.
On it, riveting.
So I will do my best. So
We're going to talk about glue if we another.
So what you have before you, there's a memo that was prepared by this office dated May 24th, and it resulted from a meeting I had with Tom Tuma, the building inspector, and a private resident. And this is for properties located in the NS neighborhood shopping zone over by Lincolndale Plaza. And the issue there was that the resident had started to make some improvements to his property. He didn't go through all of the approvals that he should have. And so the work stopped. But then when we went back and we started talking with the property owner, we realized, and Mr. Tuma had pointed out, that his property, it's a single family residential use, but it's located in the NS, the neighborhood shopping district, and single family residential is not a permitted use in that district. And so as we started going and discussing the issue for this property owner to make improvements to their property, essentially because it's a non-permitted use, it's treated as a variance. And so the gentleman or any property owner would have to go to the ZBA because they're expanding a non-conforming use, which makes it problematic for a single family or a owner for a single family residence when all they want to do is make improvements to their property. And that part of that process also includes a site plan approval from the planning board. And typically in the town of Somers, you don't require a site plan for a single family residence. So with that, I went back and I looked at the town's comprehensive plan, which was adopted in 2016. And figure 6 in the comprehensive plan actually has specific recommendations for rezoning in this particular neighborhood. One of which included proposed zoning changes to R10 residence district for the properties that we were looking at. So in my mind, the recommendation was already in the comprehensive plan. So this is simply an implementation measure, and it helps out not only this gentleman and his property, but there are 2, 3, 4 other properties that are zoned, that are residential uses that are encumbered with this NS district. So it made sense to bring this issue to.
Are those ones on the bottom of the map up there?
Correct.
Where you proposed zone change to R10?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe, Paul, can you get it on the screen, maybe? The map,
You have it in your.
it's on the agenda.
You have the tax map ID?
No, how about
Don't,
the
but it's-
agenda?
If the memo is in the agenda, then
Yeah.
the graphic should
Map
be
is
attached to it.
The graphic is in
It
the
is, that's what I'm
agenda.
looking at.
Attached.
Yes.
What's in the agenda on the town website?
Yes.
Yes.
I can look for that.
Yeah,
No problem.
Great.
I'll go show them where it is.
yeah, good. It'll be helpful.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Along with that recommendation, there's property on the west side of Lovell Street, which is zoned for neighborhood shopping. It's actually part of Lincoln Hall property. The neighboring district is R120. So again, that's another recommendation in the comprehensive plan. It probably makes sense while you're considering the residential, is also to consider the Lincoln Hall property and rezoning that. Again, these are all recommendations in the comprehensive plan, and all you would be doing is implementing the recommendations that had previously been identified. So that was the kind of the initial thrust for bringing this matter to your board for your consideration. In looking at the other recommendations, there's another. If you wanted to consider it, but there are other recommendations for rezoning different portions of this area. One from NS to R40. That's another adjacent district. And then there are a series of contractor yards which are behind. If you know where the post office is, and that little shopping center behind that.
What that is, yeah.
Yeah, there are a number of contractor yards. And so one of the other suggestions is to, in the comprehensive plan, is to rezone that from NS to OLI, which is Office and Light Industrial District.
The map's up here now.
So essentially, you have uses taking place in this district over the years historically. And you were proposing to make some changes here. It'll clean up administration of changes
Yes.
for all these owners. I mean,
Yeah,
because
they're not my proposals. They're actually proposals that were in the comprehensive plan. I'm just bringing them.
yeah,
to your
exactly.
attention.
And the code, Tommy is essentially supporting this, right?
Yes,
Because this makes his life a little bit easier as
it
well.
does. Absolutely. Yes.
Just makes extra work if you want to do,
Yeah.
there's a non-conforming use that anytime you change it, you got to do something, you have to go before the zoning board and all that.
Right.
Right.
And I feel for a private property owner
Yeah.
who all he wants to do is make investments in his property.
Right.
And, I think this just makes it easier for them to do
Right.
that.
So should we have made these changes back? Because I was here then when that comprehensive plan was redone. We should have made these zoning changes then so that they coincided with that plan, or
You don't necessarily have to. The whole purpose behind the comprehensive plan is to look at the entire town.
right?
This is just looking at one specific section of the town. And there may have been other bigger issues at the time in 2016 that the town was
I mean, is
focusing
that
on.
generally you have a comprehensive plan as circumstances come up, you tweak your zoning
Yes,
because your comprehensive plan says that's sort of our vision of what we
Yes.
think, but we
Right.
now have to bring it into reality with these changes. Do I have
that's
that
correct.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
This is
correct.
helping implement the vision of the comprehensive plan.
That's all.
And I'm sure there's other pieces in the comprehensive plan that we haven't acted on. This we're acting on because people have brought it to our attention.
Correct.
But, I just hope that, the building inspector, knowing the plan, will make recommendations to us for changes in the event to save homeowners time and effort when these sort of inconsistencies.
Well, that's what he's
come
doing,
up.
isn't it?
And that's what you're doing now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
There
exactly.
may have been
Yeah.
just effort.
The issue was brought to my attention by the building inspector because he had this issue with one property owner. And when we sat down and we started to discuss it and then looked at it in more detail, that's when I said, well, you know what, it makes sense to bring it to your attention and see if we can move the process along.
So over the recent months, we've had some other, developers come before us with some interest in making some zoning changes here. This is not that.
No,
Okay.
No.
This is not that.
This
Okay.
is just right as per, this just makes sense based on what's there already.
correct.
Okay.
Now I see on your map, there's two things that provide pedestrian walkway connection, North County Trailway
Mhm.
and from Dale Avenue to Hamlet Center, and then provide pedestrian connection walkway from Dale Avenue to Hamlet Center. These are proposals, or this is in our comprehensive plan, and that's why it's on the map here, or these were Dave Smith's ideas from this morning.
No.
No, I wish I could take credit for it, but
Well,
no.
if they're good ideas,
yes,
go
they're good.
right ahead.
They're very good ideas, and they came out of the discussions in the comprehensive plan, and those are proposals so that over time, if the situation arises and you see an opportunity to enhance the pedestrian environment in that area, then it's already identified in the comprehensive plan. For instance, if let's say there is a grant program for enhancing pedestrian access. I don't know if there is, but I'm just using that as an example. And it's already in your comprehensive plan, then it makes it much
Right,
easier
gotcha.
to get the grant money because now it's a
Right, right.
policy of the
Right.
town and it's been adopted as part of the
So-
Yeah, I mean, certainly anything like that, as you know, I mean, I'm always in favor of a more walkable town, good for
Paul,
a
keep
lot
it
of
there for a
people.
minute.
So, but you have to have it there as a goal before you can apply for the money. They don't give you the money and say, then make your goal.
it helps.
So-
It helps a whole lot
Right.
if you've done the pre-planning and thinking about it and identified it as part of a.
So this is a master plan
Community benefit.
appendix right here that's up here.
Yeah.
That,
Right.
Yes, that's
And-
figure
And where
6.
you've rectangled the comments or where you're making you're saying, let's implement these.
Yes.
But you also said you wanted to implement the.
Well, there's as I was looking at this, and I've had
Yeah.
discussions with others. There are other proposed zoning changes which you may want to consider.
Yeah.
And again, they're just implementation of already proposed.
If we're gonna do it once,
Do it
in
once.
for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah.
Question for you real
Yes,
quick.
sir.
Zoom in a little bit, Paul. I'm just curious, and I thought I had it, where it says, the connect, no, go up again. The trailway to the North County Trailway?
That's what it says.
Did they mean the other? I mean, isn't the North County
It's a
Trailway
little bit
way
away.
over on the other side of town?
I think there was.
Well,
There's another trail. I don't think it's considered the North County Trailway. It's the one that goes over behind like Kennedy and all that.
Yes,
It's not
it
North-
goes to Baldwin.
Yes, right,
That's it, but it's not called the North.
Yeah, that one's not.
right. That's a different trailway. Yes,
Right.
Okay,
right.
I'm just making sure I wasn't.
We're not connected to the North County. No.
Yeah, I didn't know there was.
I don't
there
know if
was
it has
some
a
Savage
name.
Trail.
I don't think it does. Right.
Okay, so this is the
Yeah, that's where it's going.
It's an old
like
right
the
of
horse
way.
with no name. There's the trail with no name.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I was just curious. I wanted to make sure. I said I lived there a little while and I didn't know it was over.
No,
there.
you're right.
Mhm.
I mean, I think this makes sense. And again, it's things we're going to see this as we do all the time where things come to our attention that don't make sense and we need to change it. And again, it doesn't make sense for homeowners who have, single family homes that have to come in every time they want to do something for the property. So 100%.
All right, so how do we do this? How do we move forward procedurally?
Well,
On the consensus, Jay.
uh,
Scheduled public hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah,
Well said, Dave.
Thank you. Riveting.
Did I cut you off?
No, we're good. So we're gonna basically put it on
Put on-
consensus agenda. We'll approve it. It'll go on to public hearing.
Well, you need to, to do authorize Dave to prepare an EAF.
Yeah.
See, listen to Roland.
Yeah. Oh, come on up here.
What are you saying?
Speaking to the mic.
Yeah, yeah, Roland.
Join the meeting.
You would
I'm
then
getting rusty on my
authorize Dave to prepare an EAF. And you would then refer out to your planning board,
Westchester County.
to the county planning board, and then schedule a public hearing.
Okay.
And then presumably adopt.
Yeah.
So you and I will sit down.
Mhm.
Right.
We
sit
get
down.
started.
We'll get started on this.
Very good.
We can get everything organized and then we can do all that stuff.
Excellent.
So
Very good.
government's a process.
Yes, and it grinds slowly forward, but it
Gotta
does
tell you.
move forward. Yes,
Pretty riveting.
it is. I
Pretty
tried.
riveting today.
I try.
I thought it was great, actually. I got to be honest with you. I thought it was interesting to see
yeah.
the different changes over there. You know, you learned stuff. People
And
don't
that's-
realize in that one little area how many
How
different
many different zones?
zones there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mile trek, and you have 6 different zones. It's interesting. And we didn't know that the North County Trail went over there.
Rob, you just want to rip the page out of the book and redraw the lines.
It's done. That's it. That's right. You know, I'm
So be it.
rushing.
But this area of town, this board and other boards before it have identified as it needs something, to kind of bring it in. And this is part of that. There's another proposal for that area that might help do that. But so do you have contact still with the Gene O'Connell,
Look at that.
J. O'Connell and Associates, the grant writers?
We talk. We have
Yeah, I think I don't personally, but
every quarterly meeting I have.
yeah, but
I'm
Kim.
just saying,
Kim
because you
might-
have two things there. You mentioned grants for those walkways, is keep that in mind for that.
We could bring that up to their attention.
Yes.
Mhm.
Dave, what's a definition of the R120 residence zoning?
3 acres.
What is that? Is that
3 acres.
3 acres.
Three acres.
Yeah,
3 acre
it's
zoning?
right. It's a
per
single family
family?
residence, 120,000 square foot minimum lot size. So it's basically a 3 acre lot size, right?
3 acre lots.
Yeah.
Family.
Single family, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to stick around for the next one too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
It'd be equally as riveting.
You've got an attorney who's presenting. It's going to be more riveting. than
Oh,
this.
there you go.
Yes.
All right. Excellent.
All right, we'll move on to number 4 here, 259 Route 100 zoning amendment.
You want to get maybe the resolution, the wonderful resolution for have anything now?
No, I'm not doing it.
Oh, okay.
Not just. No.
Is Linda still recovering from last night's party?
I'm happy to tell you she's taken 3 whole days off.
All right.
So she'll be back on Tuesday.
She did an excellent part. I was going to say it at the end, and we want to thank Dave also. But last night, we were the supervisor and I attended a Westchester Planning Awards dinner, and our very own Dennis McNamara got Citizen Planner of the Year. It was a very nice event.
Distinguished Citizen Planner.
Sorry, Distinguished Citizen Planner of the Award. It was down at the Glen Island or Glen Harbor Island Club, whatever it's called. It was a very nice event. And Linda is the president.
She is.
So she helped set it up and all. So she did an excellent job.
Great.
And we were joined by the chairman of the planning board, as well as Chris Zerbato and Wendy up there. And so anyway, just when you see her, say thank you. It was a great night.
I will. And the comments are much appreciated. I know she put a ton of work into it.
So, no, sorry about that.
So with that, I'll get to my moderately interesting discussion. So for the record, my name's Steve Rabel. I'm with the law firm McCullough, Goldberger and Stout here tonight on behalf of Glen Ida Realty, Inc. I'm here with Rick Donardo, who's here on behalf of ownership. And this is pertaining to 259 Route 100. I believe you discussed this a little bit with Linda and Rick at the May 4th work session. To give a little bit of a refresher, this property, you may recall, was already rezoned not too long ago from R80 to MFR 100 to permit multifamily development. At the time, the project contemplated was 24 units across 2 buildings, 46 parking spaces, stormwater facilities, related site improvements, et cetera. Since receiving those approvals, some additional thoughts gone into what might suit the property, potentially even a little bit better. And so what we're looking at now is a high-end self-storage facility. We showed a concept at the May 4th meeting. The idea would be to mirror some of the architecture locally, to look like a carriage house and appear more residential in aesthetic, but be a self-storage facility in practice. In order to accommodate that use, we've petitioned your board for a zoning change. Really two zoning changes. One, to rezone the property to the OLI, Light Industrial District, and two, to add a self-storage use to that district. So we presented that petition to you on May 4th. You referred us out to the planning board along with referrals out to certain other agencies as you declared your intent to act as lead agency. We had a meeting with the planning board on May 10th. We were generally positively received. They gave their memo back to you, indicating no objection to lead agency. DEC and county planning also indicated no objection. So we are here tonight asking you hopefully to declare yourselves lead agency officially and set a public hearing on the zoning petition.
Excellent.
So we got a letter from Westchester County with some
I read the letter.
things that I guess the DEP has to agree to or wants to oversee. Those are routine things from your point of view, or
yes,
no hurdles.
Yes, and I would also note most of, if not all of their comments were site plan specific, and we're not actually here for site plan.
They were specific to that project. Right?
Yes,
which doesn't affect our zoning discussion.
That's correct.
I was just going a little bit ahead just to see if
There's no showstoppers in those 5 points that we just need to comply with them.
for that project. Yeah,
for that project, correct. We don't see any major showstoppers in the issues they raised,
And the planning board will deal with them.
yeah. Just wondering.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so listen, I'm just gonna, I know you guys what your thoughts are, mine as well. You're good with it, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good proposal and I think it's right for the area and I think it'll be received more positively even than the other proposal.
Correct. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this to the consensus agenda for next week. And then yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, I think it's a great transition point into town and it's gonna look great.
So we need to do it.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Yes.
Well,
Just put it
the only
together.
thing would be if you did it tonight, then Patty would have more time to publish.
Good.
But it's a July 13th meeting.
Oh, so you have plenty of.
Yeah,
Plenty of time.
that's why I was like, just throw it on.
Yeah.
the
So we're gonna put it to
We need
consensus
to put
agenda.
something on the consensus agenda?
Yeah.
Is there nothing on there now? Yeah. You're gonna be it.
You're gonna be it.
Sorry for holding you up.
Everything's good. So yeah.
It's the same result, no
Yeah,
matter.
it's the same
what.
result. We'll declare ourselves lead agency and also set a public hearing.
I mean, the bigger thing is we're very happy with the plan. We appreciate your pivot and we're looking forward to it. And I'm sure the planning board, looking at their comments also, I think they're going to be looking forward to looking at the site plan and working with you on it. And we know the kind of work you do already. So we're pretty comfortable.
No, we're good.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks.
Speed of light.
Should move.
See you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Riveting. Riveting.
Hey, Rob, not for anything. Somebody just said, let's go. So let's go.
We're going.
Let's move on to number 5. Request permission to purchase one 2023 Ford F-150 XL 4-wheel drive pickup truck. I'd like to make a motion to purchase.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
It's in the budget.
It is in the budget. It's already there. They have enough money in the budget for it. Number 6, authorize the supervisor to sign a renewal contract for the town's life insurance. I'd like to make a motion to authorize supervisor to sign.
Second.
And I'd like to mention that
Go ahead.
it's going to be guaranteed for 3 years, which is
No-
always a good thing. No increase.
And no
for 3 years.
increase as well. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So move. Okay, consider adoption of the video conferencing policy in the town of Somers discussion.
That was. long,
We
but
talked
thank
about
you.
this before, right, Roland?
Yeah, it simply follows state law.
Okay.
I actually thought it had been adopted, but Patty informed us that it had not. But you should have a policy in place.
Okay. And do we have to have a public hearing for this? No, we don't, right?
Okay, then I'll
So-
amend the policy and you please need to adopt that tonight.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to adopt the video conferencing policy for the town of Somers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Can I just ask a question? This is for us, right? But what about the committees and?
For everybody.
For everybody. It actually says it in here somewhere.
Does it?
Yep.
Committees and boards?
In fact, this came up as a result of some confusion at the zoning board.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why we inquired about the policy and if everybody had access.
What isn't it something about whether you can vote or not? You can you can comment, but can you vote? Wasn't there something about that?
Under the old law, which still exists, it wasn't repealed. You can be remote and you don't have to give a reason. But you have to be in a public place.
Right.
And you have to have noticed the public place.
Right.
And then you count towards the quorum and you can vote.
When you say notice, what does that mean?
That means in advance of the meeting, the secretary to the board that you're a member of has to publicly notice on the bulletin boards where it is that you are going to be located for the meeting, and it has to be public accessibly. I think it all has to do with handicapped access, but they don't call it that. They call it a publicly accessible location.
So we'll adopt it tonight and then we'll send it out to all the various boards and committees around town just to make sure they have it.
That's the old law.
Right.
The new
That's it.
law,
There you go.
the new law provides that you have to have an extraordinary reason not to be present, and which they describe as illness in the family, or you're a caretaker for an elderly person, something of that nature,
Right.
or something that's sudden in nature.
You're in the hospital.
Yeah. And in that event, you don't have to notice where you are, but you do not count towards the quorum. The quorum must be in the room.
Right.
But you can vote. But you have to publicly disclose what the extraordinary circumstance is.
And when does that take effect?
That's been in
It's
effect.
been in effect.
Oh, we haven't adopted.
We haven't had to do.
Well, you've been following it by and large. You've been following.
We're going to adopt it right now.
Yeah.
Actually, Rob, did you?
State law.
Okay.
Yeah,
We just adopted.
But how
we
much
just adopted it.
Patty need? 7 days, a month?
told her we were doing it first.
And how does that coincide with a sudden emergency?
It doesn't describe how long in advance the notice has to be, but obviously during the working day, at least of the meeting, if it's
Well,
going.
it's only a notice when you're
We can do it next time.
away. It has nothing to do with the extraordinary circumstance.
Yeah, the extraordinary circumstance, you don't have to be in a public location. So
Okay.
you don't have to
At
get,
the meeting.
You don't have to give
Okay.
7 days or whatever.
but in that circumstance, you have to publicly disclose what the extraordinary circumstance is.
And what about your location?
No,
Okay.
no location.
Well, I plan on being here for all the meetings, so.
You know, it's easier. It's right. It's easier to be here than.
It's
It's like being in school. If you're absent, you got to make up more work, so you might as well just go to
the
school.
Google tracks
Yeah.
having two laws in place at the same time. Very odd for the state legislature.
I'm number 8.
Wow, that is.
All right.
All right, move on to number 8. Everybody had a chance to hopefully read the resolution here. Make a motion to consider adoption of resolution making unlawful to discharge any radiological agent into the Hudson River.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved.
Well, we're making a motion to adopt it, not to
Yeah.
consider adopting it.
To adopt it.
Yeah, adopt it. Okay.
To adopt, yeah.
Yeah, I think that the group that's doing that, I was reading up on this, that they have ceased, that they temporarily suspended releasing the water into the river.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
their intent is to continue after they say they've educated public officials and the public at large. Whether the officials and public at large accept their education and believe it, or whether it's fact-based, or as one critic said, they're interested in making money. They're not interested in, and you hope that that's not entirely true. But yeah, I mean, on the face of it, you go, radioactive material in the Hudson River. What are you, freaking nuts?
Yeah. I don't see how you could change that argument.
But, they have other things that they adopt, I guess, sort of like cell phone radiation, Anyway, oh my God. It was an interesting thing to research this.
Okay, let's move on to number 9, formation of the Veterans Committee. I know we had a discussion about this last week. I'd like to make a motion to form the Veterans Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we will start appointing committee members next week.
Good.
All right, Parks and Rec, authorized hiring of day camp staff from June 26th to August 4th, 2023, and continue to hire on an as-needed basis. pursuant to the county health counselor camper ratio regulations per memo dated May 24, 2023 from Steve Ralston, Superintendent of Parks and Rec. Make a motion to authorize the hiring of day camp staff.
Second.
All in favor?
And if you think you'd like to have a job,
If you know anybody.
they need people.
They need people.
Rob, I
Anybody who-
If you're a good person, go there.
Is she?
She's one of the counselors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom abstains. All right, financial, no additional business. Highway, no additional business. Personnel, we're always looking for people to be on our boards. If you're interested in being on one of our boards, please let us know. There are some openings for the affordable housing. We have one in Partners in Prevention. So if you would like to be on one of those boards, please let us know.
The one thing that veterans, that's a committee, so there's no limit to the number of people on that aside simply.
Correct. Probably, I think we're probably going around 5 or so. So it doesn't.
No. The Veterans Committee, we said board shall consist of 5 members.
5 members.
So we did put a number on it for 2 years.
5 members for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Went on the agenda. Okay.
Let's move on to number 3. Authorize the hiring of Anthony Salvaggi as Somers police officer part-time to work no more than 20 hours per week at an hourly rate equivalent to 80% of the current police officer rate per memo dated May 22nd, 2023 from Brian Linklater, chief of the Somers Police Department, effective June 1st, 2023. I'd like to make a motion to hire Anthony Salvaggi.
Second.
All in favor? So moved.
We met him earlier tonight and he's quite an impressive person.
Very impressive. Unbelievable resume he has. Many years of working in New York City, so it would be a great addition to our already great police.
We do. We have a great police force.
We do.
Police, no additional business. That was it. And then our proposed consent agenda, nothing here, so nothing there at all.
Okay.
All right.
We are declaring June 11th, Race Amity Day.
Yes, we are. Race Amity Day would be June 11th. I do have that on the festival here on our announcements as well.
Yeah.
And so again, smoke alarm saves lives. The American Red Cross is installing free smoke alarms in the community. Learn more and make an appointment. Soundthealarm.org. You can go to, or 845-673-1198. Westchester County, LGBTQ plus pride flag raising. That is going to be Sunday, June 4th, 11:30. Michelin Office Building, 148 Maritime Avenue in White Plains. Race Amity Festival is Sunday, June 11th, 1 p.m. at Reese Park. Potluck picnic, presentations, discussion, music, and more. And then we also have the 7th annual charity car show honoring the veterans in memory of Louis DeMarco, sponsored by Horton Landscaping and Leewood Beverage Center, Sunday, June 11th, 9 to 3. Somers Intermediate School registration starts at 9, goes to 11, and then the fee is $20. Entry bags given to the first 125 cars, 50-50 trophies, DJ, a good time for all. And then we have on June 24th, we have the Town of Somers Independence Day celebration, 4 to 9:30. Fireworks will start probably 9:30, depending when it gets dark. We have 3 bands. We have the Somers Chamber of Commerce is doing the 3-on-3 basketball tournament. There'll be barbecue, food trucks, children's activities, hot dog eating contest, and the rain date will be June 25th, that Sunday. That is all I have here for our announcements. Patty, you got some fun facts here for us?
I forgot one part of it.
So it's only half a fun fact?
Yeah, because I don't have all the information. But anyway. But I know somebody who will probably know the answer off the top of their head. So I don't even know why I bothered trying to. On this day in history, in 1925, Lou Gehrig began his consecutive game streak. How many games is that, Richard?
2,130.
Wow.
2,000.
So I had the opportunity in one of my Athenian dialogues recently to get to read The Luckiest Man, The Life and Death of Lou Gehrig by John Egg. And I will tell you, that's why I was like, oh, wait, this is a day. But on my birthday was his last game.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it was a great book if anybody wants to borrow it.
Good. Thank you.
That was my fun fact for today.
Closing comments from everybody else? Thank you.
Best of luck to the high school seniors who are going to be facing regents and final exams, et cetera, as they wind down the year. So good luck to them.
Rich, anything?
No, thank you.
Wow. No.
Well, don't.
No, that,
I can talk about the 1925 Yankees.
No, that's good. I'm good. I'm good.
I got the whole history of it, you know, who we replaced and so on.
Oh, so much approaching.
Supreme Court. We can talk about the Supreme
Drive
Court.
slowly.
Drive slowly, people. Of course, speeding again is an issue in town, so everybody please do your best to follow the speed limit. We really do appreciate your support on this. If I'll make a motion to close out tonight's work section,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right.
Let it be done. So